here, joined by Slash, our expert commentator. For Slash, what is going to be one hell of a first match to stream out to the world?
I am very sure it is. Welcome everybody, this is DotA 2. And we're here for the international, the $1 million tournament. And this is the opening match, guys. IG against eHome, the current powerhouse against the former 2010 eHome were owning the shit out of everybody. But nowadays, IG, they've proven to be probably the strongest teams out there in terms of raw power. And we are now into our captain's mode. This is how it looks like, guys. Bans and picks coming up. eHome have the first ban. And Toby, which one did they ban?
We've got Windrunner and Beastmaster taking out. Also to explain that for everybody here, because this is actually a great time in our world, because all those Dota fans who are out there going, you know what, this is Dota 2, this is what we've been waiting for. There's a lot more people out there as well going, Dota, what is it? This is it. So don't worry, guys, we're going to walk you through this in case you go, hang on, I'm not quite sure what goes on. So the way Dota works with their drafting mode, to actually let the teams put in some form of strategy for the heroes that want to go, you have 2 bans per side, then you have 3 picks per side, another 2 bans per side, and then another 2 picks per side. Basically giving you abilities to cancel out those heroes which you don't want to see and who are going to basically affect your strat, Slash.
Yes, that is actually correct. As we actually see for those guys who may be familiar with, who are familiar with Dota 1 but have not seen Dota 2 yet, this is Earthshaker being banned out by eHome, and Anti-Mage actually being banned out by IG. And eHome respond by first picking Lich. Because
Lich being one of those amazing heroes from the Dota 1 metagame, and of course his abilities transfer straight across to Dota 2. The ability to control the lanes, hold them in close, and it all comes down to one ability, the Ritual Man.
Yes, it is actually, yes, it's simply his lane control ability. He could be used as a tri-laner, so basically keeping his carry safe farming. On the other hand, he can be used as a solo mid to counter many others. And IG respond by 2 of their most popular picks, were Weaver and Ancient Apparition.
The fact that there's, like, they can actually get through, like banning out Windrunner and ES, obviously they're great heroes, but Ancient Apparition and Weaver, we've been poring over the replays of every single team that's been playing out there, and Ancient Apparition and Weaver, they are 2 of the most dominant heroes. Even in the Dota 1 metagame, they're going to transfer to Dota 2, and we're going to see them right here. I think I'm more excited about that. We're going to see IG players playing AA and Weaver.
Oh yeah, and we got one great player, obviously Ferrari 430, who has been known to be using solo mid Ancient Apparition for basically ages.
I remember when we did the ICT tournament.
That was not nice.
that was brutal, man, and it was actually funny. We've got that same team they played against side. They're actually here.
They are indeed.
Yeah, competing in this tournament. But yeah, Ancient Apparition from the mid lane. The ability with his ultimate basically can control all lanes.
Yes, and it's just global presence because of his ultimate. And it helps wonderful in ganks, and IG are just one of those teams who execute ganks and they close to perfectly. And yes, Weaver also one of the trademark heroes of Joe, but also of Shell 8, who is also very good in using Weaver. So 2 players who can actually use Weaver the same. Tidehunter and Spectre being picked up by eHome. Again, Tidehunter, I believe, is a very strong hero, since we only have 46 heroes, guys. Only 46 heroes from Dota 1 being implemented yet. And Spectre, obviously one of the biggest carries in the Dota 1 metagame. And they have many players who can play him. FCB, or known as Crystal, who might be playing her. A2O, who has been known as using Spectre before. He actually turned to playing support heroes, as well as PLT. So the eHome lineup, it's basically really odd. We still don't know which player is going to play which role.
Yeah, and of course, like, how they go into the lanes as well is going to be interesting, because obviously you look at the IG lineup, Weaver, great for solo lanes, with what I like to call the Shooky ability. It's not the correct name, is I like going at the Shooky ability. The ability to actually go invis, deal damage while actually going very fast through units as well, basically phasing through them. And great for a tri-lane. Ancient Apparitions we mentioned before, great for a tri-lane as well. Through the cold feet harass, basically you cast it, you go run yourself away as fast as you possibly can to get out of range of the ability. If you stick around, you get locked in ice, and then basically
damage. Very long time.
Yeah, it's a hard time. And then Clockwork Goblin as well. You mentioned before, IG love to be initiative, they like to be aggressive, and you're going to get it here.
Oh yeah, they will probably run Joe on playing Weaver, and Shell 8 instead playing Clockwork Goblin as a solo sideliner. As we see very quick bans coming out from both teams. Vengeful Spirit removed from eHome, as well as Venomancer. And Storm Spirit, yes, that is actually Storm Spirit. He's not a pan anymore. I'm really a little bit sad about it, but never mind. And Fairy Dragon also removed. So Fairy Dragon, one of the trademark heroes of Crystal. He's been using Fairy Dragon for a very long time. And Eho respawned by picking Lion. We have Weapon X. We have Weapon X online.
This, I always have flashbacks to X's mid Lion, the Blink Lion. He can initiate anywhere he wants to. He's just so aggressive. And it's a great hero. And how we're going to see this lane out now? We've got Spectre, Tidehunter, and Lich. Will Lich run solo? Will Lich go into the lane, or will Spectre, Tidehunter now be supported as well?
They're very flexible about it, really. They can, most likely they're going to run Lich as a solo mid against Ancient Aberration. That could work actually pretty well, especially if Axe is playing it. We might actually see Crystal playing line as well. Also another great line user. So we have no idea currently which player is going to play which. I can only say that I predict that the 357 is going to use Tidehunter as our main support here player for eHome.
Yeah, it's actually funny to actually see Venomancer being banned out as the last one for eHome. Were they fearing that, like, I actually thought when I saw that, they were going to go a little bit more push, they're going to be a little bit more aggressive, or they wanted to actually remove that ability from IG, but the ban out of Venomancer when you got heroes like, and I got to point out too right now, there is no neutral for eHome. Basically looking at these lanes, and they just want to be straight in the lanes. IG, they still have that opportunity as well. How are they going to actually run it? That's a big question. They've got three heroes to do it solo.
They currently got 3 lanes, that is true. So we might actually see 2 support heroes coming out from IG. They're eating into a lot of extra time, actually. Only 35 seconds left. So we will be actually seeing which one they pick. There are still many options left, like, really. Witch Doctor, Crystal Maiden, all very great support heroes. Maybe not quite as aggressive as IG want them to be, so they're probably thinking about what they should do against it.
They still probably want Crystal Maiden though. Crystal Maiden with a Brilliance Aura.
Yeah, that would work for
a lot of rockets.
Yes, so Crystal Maiden would definitely be a good pick. Yeah. But they actually use Pugna.
Dire team pick.
So will we see Ancient Aberration maybe not being played by Ferrari, but being run as a support hero instead?
This is, and Tiny is the last pick that comes out from eHome. Where is this lineup coming from?
This is, oh god, I'm loving it, because this might be old ganking eHome. Before eHome 2010, eHome was ganking all over the place, and Tiny is just a premier ganker. I've seen PLT or Lamb using Tiny in many matches in Dota 2, and it has always been the most valuable player in each single game you played. So Sven being picked as a supporter, I will believe it's true. So
yeah, they needed some form of stun to go with that line, because they had nothing at that point.
They needed one reliable stun, put it that way. Ancient Aberration does have a stun, but it's not reliable, and neither is Goblin's mini stuns. But Tiny, really, this is a hero we have not, especially Chinese team, have not been picking Tiny at all.
Yeah, we also just had one player disconnect from the game, so we'll reconnect back in again. Love to actually have that feature in the world of Dota 2. And there he is, reconnects back in again. Spire Captain's mode is actually counting down. The draft is complete. So your bands, Windrunner, ES, Eventual Spirit, Venomancer, Beastmaster, Anti-Mage, Storm Spirit, and Puck. And now to run through our lineup. So now, guys, if you are used to the world of Dota, it's completely changed over, because it's not Sentinel versus Scourge. It is Radiant versus Dire. So Radiant down on the bottom corner. It is Zoe, DDC. Zoe playing as a Pugna. DDC will be playing as Ancient Aberration. 430 will be our Clockwork Goblin. Sungsheng will be Sven. And that leaves our last but not least, they are bottom lane, Weaver.
Yeah, and actually really odd to see. This is not one of the trademark heroes. But let's have a look at eHome, and actually they decide to put 820 back on this carry role. I thought they forfeited that one, but apparently it is true. 357 is playing Lich, support hero. FCB actually returned to support role. This is really odd. Crystal playing Tidehunter.
But then again, is Tidehunter actually really considered support anymore? After the last couple of fights we've seen for warm-ups, Tidehunter is really a bit of a powerhouse.
Yes, that is actually true, but I'm really not sure why it is that way.
But yes, yeah, to cap it off, X's Lion and PLT.
Really, yes, and yeah, two of them I call these two trademark heroes, and we'll see actually how they want to lane this. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, at the moment, it looks like our bottom lane will be Solo Weaver. Our mid lane will be Clockwork Goblin going as our mid, and that leaves our tri-lane as Pugner as the first foghorn goes off. The game is underway, the creeps will spawn. The game does start before that point, but the foghorn is always going at that official start, man. Looks like our top lane gank is going to be set up here by IG. They did pick up that double damage rune, and that'll be for Ancient Apparition. Tiny, Lexi solo bot.
This is really odd. So to side Tiny, really? Against Weaver, he's not going to have an easy time, I believe.
What the hell's going on, man? Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit odd, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll see how this goes down. Weaver on Tiny, it's just an unusual combination for the bot. Right, Tiny will have the burst damage to bring Weaver down, but Weaver has his easy escape mechanism, and you can see it too. It is a awesome feature of Dota 2. You can actually see all the abilities and how far they actually level them up on the fly.
This is actually really one of the things that EOM have already been training, running Spectre solo mid and having a Lich support here, so that she actually has an easier time. 4-3-0 Stalker Godman obviously going mid lane. He's a mid laner, but I think this is kind of different. It's like everything we actually predicted went out of the window. DDC on Ancient, we've seen it a few times, and Joe actually not playing hardcore.
But yes, we will see how it actually works out in the end. At the moment, both teams actually been pretty damn defensive. It's like no one wants to actually initiate anyway just yet.
We've not seen like a smoke gang, which we've seen in Dota 2.
Now to go! Top! Stormbolt flies on top of X. And Zoe thinks about actually going a little bit further, but he's already back towards the tower. So Sungshen, the first well, actually really the only aggression we've seen so far bar this one-on-one's bottom lane up against Tiny. But yeah, both these teams have been massively defensive.
It is actually true.
Alright, so we are now 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Just join me in just a second. Mid, thinking about it! They're going! The Sun's on Spectra! They're doing all the damage. First blood is spilled here on the main stage. Sungsheng brings down A2O. Lich as well was there in support with a couple of his own friends, but don't get the kill. Back out towards the top lane. Zoe's trying to run back out. Lion as well as Tidehunter trying to slow him down. Lion's already used his stun as well as his Hex. The splash holding him in place. They're going to dive down towards the tower. The revenge kill does come. They lock it at 1 apiece. Hex gets the kill on the top lane as the Lion, support by FCB. And now DDC and Sungshen come back out towards their top lane to help their fallen comrade.
Yeah, very good gang indeed on A2O Spectre. Obviously they don't want the hard carry to get fat, especially not if it's A2O using one of his trademarks. They realize that the two superiors went mid, so they use this opportunity to kill this still very fragile partner of Joe very fast. So it's one apiece, boys, but I think IG came out of the better and they gained first blood and they killed the hard carry.
Yeah, it definitely was a better trade-off for them. I'm still I'm baffled by this bottom lane. PLT, now, as far as his farm actually goes, well, we got up to level 4 up against a level 5 Weaver, so he's already behind in most things. We're actually going to check our CS scores for the moment, and down towards the bottom, Tiny is actually 12-6, while Weaver is currently 15-3. How is it that close? And now Tiny actually wants to go it. We see, maybe this is their answer to the Weaver Shuki. Burst damage.
Yeah, Weaver is a very fragile hero, but if Tiny can't kill him in his spell combination, then it's basically over. He can just timeless back on Shikuchi out, whichever way.
Yeah, he is, but yeah, the problem for the bottom lane is Tiny. He'll initiate and then go, hang on, I can't initiate anymore because I got no mana. Like at the moment he's got enough for 1 stun. Like you look at him, 160, and he needs 240 to actually cast both of his abilities, and that's what Brace basically makes Tiny all over the shop, and you can basically kill people in the space of a half a second. half a second, it's about the casting time for both of his abilities. The toss, then the avalanche, and then you lose all your life.
Yeah, it's very, very effective, especially against many of the fragile heroes that they have. Joe, just fucking obviously very, very fragile, as well as Ancient Apparition. Weaver is very fragile, Clockwork not quite so much, but Tiny is probably very, very good against Clockwork Goblin, simply because if Goblin tries to attack him, he will actually stun himself because of Tiny's passive ability, which is Craggy Exterior.
So we got ourselves a bit of a roam for the, we see smoke. That's what they look like. Draped in smoke, they're all infused up right now, so DDC as well as Sunshang looking for the kill on the mid. There's Spectra hanging around here as well as Lich. So both are trying to hold back next to the tower. While next to that tower, you can't go in there with a smoke. It reveals you off. Smoke also revealed when you get too close to a hero. Now they're going to go! Clockhold is in. A2O is dead again. Quick and lethal.
That was first place, and afterwards just one hook, it was enough to seal the deal.
Yeah,
and actually he finds a regeneration rune, so this was definitely going to help his case.
And of course, bottle that one up, bottle off, pop the regen rune. Still got 3 charges left for the bottle as well.
Exactly.
Give you life as well as mana.
Activating it and probably just yeah, gonna shoot a rocket to the outer lane. Gains the last hit for it.
Yeah. Down towards that bottom lane. Just keep our eyes on Weaver and Tiny. Weaver and Tiny have been moving back and forth. Tiny still very, very lean on items, so we got boots as well as branches basically, and that's it. So
you might actually go for a very fast arcane boots. I can actually see that he's got 920 gold round about that. So he's very close to his arcane boots. It was definitely going to help because he's probably going to use toss as sort of a harassment on Weaver.
So we see some ward blocking wards. Obviously, you small blocking wards. Yeah, wall blocking wards. That works for me, Slash, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We're always learning, man.
We're creating new terms every single day. This is Dota 2, man. It's a fresh start.
All right, indeed.
Come towards that top. Line and tide. They're looking